Santa catch up in a mango tree. Patu ball out what a Christmas treat. Then Santa say, come help me down to the ground. Come do your Christmas deed. Hold on there. Santa not a little bit too early. Well, there's still 12 days to go before Christmas. But it's never too early to do a good deed. Start now. I'm Adrian Atkinson and this is your Christmas Countdown on Jamaica Magazine.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh and this is your JIS News for Wednesday, December 13. Senator Aubin Hill has been appointed the new Executive Director of the Economic Growth Council, the EGC. Prime Minister Andrew Holness made the announcement at a Jamaica House press conference Tuesday. Senator Hill will be tasked with helping to develop an economic policy to nurture a doctrine of economic growth, coordinate economic projects, and be an advocate for growth.
I'm satisfied and I'm confident that Senator Hill will be able to execute the duties of the office very proficiently, but in a way that at the end of the day we can all be satisfied that Jamaica is serious about growth and that we will achieve 5 in 4.
Senator Hill, who is also Special Investment Ambassador to India, replaces Maureen Denton, who resigned in August this year. The new EGC Executive Director says he is targeting 2.3% growth in 2018.
I want to make sure that we understand that we have to pass through 2.3 to get to 5 and 4. So we're going to work assiduously to make that happen through the agencies who drive growth, the ministries, the government bodies, and the private sector.
Meanwhile, Chairman of the Economic Growth Council, Michael Lee Chin, is expressing confidence in the country's capacity to achieve 5% growth in 4 years. This, he says, is due to the unprecedented liquidity in Jamaica's financial sector. Having held 170 meetings with stakeholders and signed a call to action memorandum, Mr. Lee Chin says the council is now at the execution phase.
I have not seen this amount of liquidity in the system as it is today. We have a stable currency. We have not seen that for decades. We have a strong NIR reserves, and we have a stock market that's booming. So all of these parameters point to one big thing: confidence. And confidence is a precursor to success.
While sharing Mr. Lee Chin's confidence, Prime Minister Holness says other factors would have to contend.
But that has to be paired with good projects to invest in. And people also have to feel that there is a certain level of security. The security concern is not just for the big businesses, it is more so a concern for the average Jamaican.
And Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the Economic Growth Council is actively engaged in assisting government's crime-fighting efforts. As he voiced concerns about the crime situation in Montego Bay, Mr. Holness said the Growth Council has been monitoring all the security agreements under the IMF program.
They have been doing a very good job to monitor that, in particular legislation that will see a new JCF Act being put in place and other arrangements. We are also seeking to support the security initiative through other means, which we will disclose at a later date, particularly as it relates to financing security initiatives.
In other news, residents of Balaclava and its environs are now benefiting from a renovated health center. The Type 3 health facility was repaired and reopened recently to better serve the more than 15,000 persons who use the center. The rehabilitation of the facility was undertaken with a capital injection of $14 million from the Culture, Health, Arts, Science and Education Chase Fund. At the recent opening, Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton urged residents to take greater responsibility for their health.
The reality is, a lot of people focus more often than not on what hospitals and doctors can and cannot do, rather than focus on the fact that if them drink a lot of rum and consume a lot of sugar, then they're susceptible to get all the ailments that are associated with that. That if they don't spend half an hour a day to do a little exercise, or they engage in smoking, then ultimately they're going to have issues with their personal health.
Government, in partnership with the University of the West Indies Mona campus, has launched its Sugar Heritage Film Series project. A Jamaica 50 legacy project of the Ministry of Agriculture, the two films showcase the history of the island's sugar industry in an entertaining way. At Tuesday's launch, Culture Minister Olivia Grange said the films would educate Jamaicans about their history while helping to reinvent the sugar industry.
This will be so as we use the message or the messages of these two films to find a way to reinvent our sugar industry. We must discover how to make new money from the oldest industry in Jamaica.
And finally, Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett is calling for a deepening of collaboration among Caribbean states to strengthen the region's tourism brand. Mr. Bartlett made the call at Tuesday's post-event press conference on the recently concluded UNWTO Global Conference on Tourism. He said based on the success of the conference and the signing of the 15-point Montego Bay Declaration, there's need for more partnerships, particularly multi-destination agreements.
The islands of the Eastern and Southeastern Caribbean have a greater need, in my mind, for multi-destination tourism. For one reason is that they are more accessible to each other. They're closer, although we are too, but the ease with which the multi-destination experiences can be managed because of proximity, right, makes the Eastern Caribbean, in my mind, a no-brainer for multi-destination tourism.
And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
The year-long planning, buying and packing all lead to one thing: a barrel of goodies for Jack, Jill, Jane and even John. Christmas, the time for giving, but the getting can sometimes make this difficult if you don't know what to do when you go for your pickup at the wharf. Let us help you out.
The Jamaica Customs Agency, JCA, recently hosted the first of several visits across the country. The team was in the parish known for its rich history and food production, St. Elizabeth, at the St. Matthew's Anglican Church Hall in Santa Cruz. Representatives from the JCA Kingston and Montego Bay offices came prepared to inform residents about the developments within the agency and how it has been positioned to serve them better. These engagements are in keeping with the Jamaica Customs Agency strategy to expand their reach through public education. The main topic for discussion was import categories and the documentary and procedural requirements for all import classes. So, it's tradition for Jamaicans who visit foreign countries to pack a barrel with personal items and gifts for family and friends. These are classified as personal imports.
Items not manufactured for commercial use, imported for our personal use. What are we talking about? As you see there, food, clothing, household appliances, furniture, sofa, or a TV. What are commercial goods? Commercial goods are goods that are sold or traded. Or it could be considered to be goods that are imported, of course, and for resale to the general public. Commercial goods can also be classified as goods to be used in business activities.
Charitable goods are meant to be charitable goods, goods that are donated to an institution and not goods that are benefiting to any individual or organization for any income. Charitable purpose includes prevention or relief of poverty, the advancement of education, the advancement of religion.
Charitable imports are afforded 100% waivers on import duties, GCT, special consumption tax, stamp duties, and only 50% of customs administrative fee is applied. Full import duties, environmental levies, and GCT is applied to motor vehicles, however.
Can you put a bag on the dresser for me, please, to do an examination? And what is this I'm seeing here? This is a turkey? But Mrs. Griffith, do you have a permit for the medication and for the turkey that you're taking, ma'am?
Agricultural produce, pharmaceuticals, chemicals, firearms, fireworks, human remains, and drones are on the list of restricted items and will require a permit from the respective organizations. These include the Ministries of Agriculture, Health and National Security, Pharmaceutical Regulatory Affairs Division, and the Kingston and St. Andrew Health Department. The JCA makes special arrangements for returning residents and students, deportees, and even the deceased. In order to make use of these arrangements, one must have the necessary documentary evidence to support claims of residency outside of Jamaica for 3 or more consecutive years. Qualified applicants can only benefit once from these concessions. Recipients of imports should collect shipping documents from an agent and present these along with a valid ID and a tax registration number TRN card to a customs supervisor.
For those of us who are travelers, when we come to the airport, right? One of the things that we think about first of all, and we always want to ensure that we have, is what? The PD form, the yellow form, the C27 form.
The form is the document on which allowances are appropriated. This too should be presented to a customs supervisor. Travelers 18 years and older are entitled to this duty-free allowance form. The Jamaica Customs Agency has a wide cross-section of clients, and as such, they have implemented the Asikuda system, which allows for a faster, easier, simpler, and more business-friendly environment. The system makes it possible to process transactions electronically. These transactions include applications for licenses and permits, automated approval, online payment, and automated risk assessment. The agency also facilitates a door-to-door delivery system, which is a simplified process for small shipments.
You can stay right here and have your shipment cleared without you traveling to Kingston or traveling to Montego Bay or traveling to St. Anne.
The meeting was very interactive and allowed for a question and answer section.
I have a truck on the wharf. I ship it here. And for instance, no one contacts me. I get no information. Nobody told me how I should go about it. The shipper put a broker on me. I want to know, do I have to use who the person gave me?
There is always the accommodation by the JCA if you so wish to have your custom broker changed. Pretty sure that customs will make some accommodations for him.
I'm Orlando and I'm asking a question on behalf of the youths, right? I listened to everybody and I want to know, how do you get the youths involved in the Jamaica Customs Agency?
What Customs is doing now, working in tandem with the Caribbean Maritime University, Customs draws from that pool of persons who are being trained. In fact, a part of them getting their degrees is that they must do community service, and so Customs fosters these students.
In addition to that, a customs program is offered at the Caribbean Maritime University as well as the Sam Sharp Teachers College in Montego Bay. The Jamaica Customs Agency intends to partner with you to make your customs-related activities stress-free. As they continue their public education initiative, join them when they come to your neck of the woods. Take the opportunity to go out and be informed.
A Mosquito. You see how them want come ruin me Christmas? The grand affair with family and friends from across international waters and the national borders. But with them also comes what we Jamaicans call fresh blood. And you know who else flying when them smell it? Mosquitoes. Here's what you can do to avoid these uninvited guests.
Mosquitoes are undoubtedly annoying, with their irritating sound and stinging bites. But there are more compelling reasons we'd rather not have them around. Several species are carriers of diseases and a threat to human health. Of most significance to Jamaica is the Aedes aegypti mosquito, known to transmit dengue fever, chikungunya, yellow fever, and the Zika virus. Only female mosquitoes bite, doing so to get the blood they need for egg production. And therefore, only female mosquitoes transmit these viruses.
The Aedes aegypti mosquito is what we call a timid feeder. So she's easily disturbed when feeding. It means that in one night, she may feed on several persons before she takes her complete blood meal. Each time she feeds, she secretes that substance. And in the secretion of the substance, the pathogen is passed on. So in one night, one female Aedes aegypti mosquito is able to infect more than one person.
The female Aedes aegypti mosquito is a prolific breeder.
One female Aedes aegypti mosquito is able to lay up to 200 eggs each time she lays her eggs. So one mosquito can populate an entire area.
The lifespan of the mosquito is around 3 weeks, and the entire cycle from egg to adult can occur in as little as 7 to 8 days. Female mosquitoes are ready to mate within a few hours after reaching their adult stage, and males are usually ready within 24 hours.
This mosquito prefers cleaner waters. For the female mosquitoes, she will lay her eggs in water, and for the Aedes, it will be water which is in and around the household.
So while there are a number of things we can and should do to prevent being bitten, the most effective way to prevent the spread of diseases by these mosquitoes is to prevent their breeding.
The Aedes aegypti mosquito is a mosquito that breeds in a containerized environment. They do not breed in rivers and drains, but they breed in containers that can be found in and around where persons dwell. So come with us and let us show you some of those breeding sites. This is a typical dish drainer that we find in most homes. And under most dish drainer is a tray that collects the water that comes off the dishes. And believe it or not, we have found breeding in several homes in these dish drainers. Yes. You can see that we have water that has settled. If this water does not evaporate quickly, it can lend itself to the breeding of the Aedes aegypti mosquito. So you not only have to empty the dish drainer, but you have to scrub to remove those eggs. This is the typical saucer that we will find under a plant. The rain has recently fallen, it has collected water, and right now it is steaming with the Aedes aegypti mosquito. Do you have some of these in your home? Aedes aegypti prefers water that is a little bit on the cleaner side, and it's found in a shaded environment. So what should we do with something like this? It's quite simple. You need to throw away the water. And if these containers are not being used, you have to keep them turned down so they're not able to collect water. If you have them under your plants, we ask that you bore holes in them so that it will not collect water. Do you have these in your homes? We find these in a lot of hotels and business places. And we ask those persons, check these bird baths or any ornamental things like these you have in your garden to ensure that they are not breeding the Aedes aegypti mosquito. There are things like this thrown down in persons' backyard. Old equipment, old furniture, old fixtures that are taken from homes, especially during construction. These are also able to hold water. And if they're holding water and sit for a while in the environment, they will also breed mosquitoes. And so we have found breeding in wheelbarrows, in old refrigerator, in old sinks such as this one. And we ask persons, if you're throwing out these, please ensure that they are positioned in such a way that they will not collect water.
Many persons, when they do have their drums, most times drums do not have any covers. So there is a mesh cover which is so designed to replace the missing covers. It is lightweight, and what we do is just simply slip it over, and the mesh is so designed mosquitoes will not be able to go through this mesh to get to the water. So this is the ideal way. One of the benefits also of this mesh is that even when rain does fall, water will go right through it. This is a typical example where this we have is a plastic drum and we have a metal cover here which is not designed for this. Whilst in some practice the intent is good, there may be occasions in which it does not fit or sit properly, and as a result you still have openings where mosquitoes can go right through and breed.
The mosquito is breeding right there in some very small places right around where you live. What is the habit we want you to develop? Once every week, search for and destroy the breeding sites of the Aedes aegypti mosquito.
We got to be careful when using pesticides.
Don't worry yourself, man. I'm certified, licensed, and ready for the pest control work.
Mount make me say anything, you know.
That is why I travel with my documents. PCA ID, insurance, pest control operator's license, applicator certificate, with picture and everything. Signed, stamp, seal, and up to date.
So, when them expire?
See it here on the document. All pest control personnel and companies have to be approved by the Pesticides Control Authority.
For a list of licensed companies, contact the Pesticides Control Authority at 754-9306.
Bah humbug. So, for whatever reason you're a regular Christmas Scrooge, even with friends and family around, the blissful spirit of the season can be quite evasive, with the exception of the ghost of Christmas, past, present and future. Here's how you stay happy at Christmas.
Let the Christmas get you in a good mood. Let the Christmas get you feeling fine. Put on your dancing shoes and come with me tonight. We're gonna rock till broad daylight.
My husband died last year, and when it reached this time of year, I feel so depressed.
Nothing around this Christmas year, you know. I lose my job about 5 months now, and I know I don't get nothing else. Christmas is bad, man. It's bad. Everybody else has spend. I don't have nothing.
I live alone, so lonely. When it's Christmas and I see people buying presents for their family. All my family are abroad and I don't have anyone to buy a present for. I'm so lonely. At Christmas, I'm so lonely.
It is supposed to be the season to be jolly. Why is it then that for one reason or another, Christmas is not a happy season for many?
The thing about it is at Christmas time, there's so much expectations at Christmas time, you know. So many families are doing things together. It's the time where we get together, we celebrate together. There's just a lot of communion, gift giving, that sort of a thing. And that raises expectations. And so whatever feelings of sadness or loss and so on that we may have had during the year or during our life always tend to be accentuated at this time of year, because I suppose the loss is juxtaposed against the gift giving and all the excitement that other families and individuals enjoy at this time. And so quite often people who find themselves sad or depressed at Christmas time are often focusing on what they don't have. It might be that they wish they had financial security and they don't have it. It might be that they're missing someone special and they don't have that person. It might be that they are evaluating their life and they wish they had achieved a certain amount of fulfillment in their job or career, and they don't have that.
So, what can you do if you're one of those who feel sad at Christmas? Well, for one, the experts suggest that you count your blessings.
Is there one thing that you've woken up today and received? Have you heard a message from someone? Has someone just smiled at you today? Have you been able to even go to work today? Have you been able to walk through the corridors or to a park? There is something, if you think hard enough, if you scan your environment, you can find things that you have.
The second tip to being happy at Christmas is to reach out to someone in need.
Sometimes you focus on what someone else is lacking, and you'll find that your troubles are not as bad and you can help. And just by helping, it relieves some of the pain and the sadness that you're feeling, because you can invest in another person. So things like volunteering, trying to support someone else in the family who you know is also feeling. Make a call, reach out and touch someone, WhatsApp, text somebody, just say, I'm thinking of you, you know, do you need anything today? But take yourself away from your own sadness and focus on someone else.
And tip number 3, get out there and socialize with others.
Another thing, I think a lot of times people who are sad, their tendency is to want to be alone, to lock themselves away and to avoid other people. Maybe they're worried their sadness will show, or what it is they don't have others will be aware of, or they just don't want to share what it is they're feeling with other people. And despite the feeling of wanting to be isolated, if you can break that and spend time with others, you always find eventually you feel better. You're not going to feel like doing it, but if you try to do it, you'll find that after you're around others, quite often that helps to lift your spirit as well. We are social animals at the end of the day, and our survival comes from being in groups. And so quite often you'll find that just maybe going to church, anything that has where you have people around you, even for a short time, can quite often lift your spirits as well.
So there you have it. You don't have to be unhappy at Christmas. Count your blessings, find the time to help someone in need, spend time with others, and remember, Christ is the reason why we celebrate. You may just find that Christmas, after all, is the happiest time of the year.
Jankunu, a Christmas tradition of old. A band of masqueraders outfitted in colorful masks and costumes. King, Queen, Cowhead, Pitchy Patchy, Red Indians, Belly Woman. Spirited dances, echoes of musical tributes, drums, fifes, shakas, bottles and graters, all commemorating our African ancestry. Jankunu, a Christmas tradition of old. Your knowledge of the past creates opportunities for our tomorrow. A tomorrow in which Jamaica is the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business. What are you doing in preparation for your Jamaican Christmas? Do you have any hacks that can make the cleaning, redecorating, and even the cooking process easier? Share them and tag us in your posts on our social media platforms. See, your good deed can be done from the comfort of your city or country corner. This festive season, live the life you love and share the love you're feeling. From all of us here at the JIS, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.